What is the significance of the real Madonna and the child? Shout out to Miss Life Lessons 3 for giving us this topic. The significance is that it will tell us and demonstrate that all Christians are Catholics. They are Protestant because they do not want to embrace the full Catholic doctrine that the church fathers, the Roman church fathers, European church fathers, instituted through various church synods. That's number one. Number two, this issue of the significance of the real Madonna and the original child will demonstrate that any black person who is a Christian ceases to be an African. We know clearly that these two images do not depict the real Madonna and the original child. What does the word Madonna itself mean? It is an Italian word derived from the Latin Maya Domina, Ma, which means Madonna or my lady. This issue of the significance of the real Madonna and the original child as proof of historical spiritual theft. So you are participating in thievery of your and abuse of your spiritual traditions. It comes from a lot of African tribes that had virgins that participated in spiritual rituals. In Southern Africa, they were known as Mbonga, Mandara. They were significant in Matopo Njelele shrine, and they were also powerful in all the rituals that made our nation what it was, and they also became our downfall. Mbonga is a virgin, a woman who has no carnal knowledge of a man, a maiden, pure and full of her original self, not yet experienced the sexual act. Also, old women that had passed their age would also be allowed to participate. That's why you see Isisu John Rhodes is buried at Matopos, and also our shrine, the Njelele shrine, was bombed and abused because they know that it is the center of our power. So that is the origin of this doctrine in ancient times, before Kemet, before Kush, and before anybody else. The Mbonga virgin traditional was a vital melanin dominant spiritual tradition that would eventually be plagiarized by the Greeks, the Romans, and many others. This is the real Madonna and the child, which are completely hidden from all those that are following Christianity, Judaism, and Islam today. This is the significance because it is pointing us to the Mbonga tradition, if we know, because it formed the fabric of all melanin dominant civilizations, the feminine aspects of it. Well before Kemet was conquered by Alexander the Greek, this Mbonga doctrine was already all over the earth. In Hamit, the Mbonga tradition is encapsulated in the god Isisu, goddess Isisu, or Ausati, so-called Isis by the Greeks. The Ptolemies and their dynasty in Hamit, and who ruled in Hamit before Rome conquered in 30 BCE, promoted the Isisu doctrine and her consort Serapis. So you can see now the formulation or the foundation of the Trinity doctrine. There is in the beginning Isisu, who was the oldest divinity. She was the goddess from whom all else arose. It was adopted by Rome, and Ausati was the goddess of love, all poems and poetry. In the Roman era, you can see here the Isisu ceremony, which was celebrated before Christianity was ever a religion to be thought of. In the 2nd century BCE, this cult reached Sicily and in Italy. In Campania, in Puteoli, then the most important port city in the south, the Serapion, was built, and the Herculaneum and Pompeii and the Isidium. From there, the cult goddess reached Rome proper. Other emperors like Caligula built a temple to Isisu in the field of Mars, known as the field Isisu, Isisu Campensis. In northern Italy, the main center of worship was Aquileia. The greatest development of the cult of Isisu in Rome was that it took place before the formation of Christianity. Some of its followers, great followers, were emperors Commodus and Domitian. Temples of Isisu in Rome came and went. They were torn down, destroyed almost more than 5 times. As we have already seen, you can see in here the ceremony of the cult of Isisu, the sacred dance, which is African or melanin dominant. So we look at this and we have to set the foundation of the modern Madonna and the child properly to find the real Madonna and the original child, which are spiritual systems that corrupted the ancient African fundamentals of the Mponga system, where only virgins and old women past their age were allowed to train to execute oracular duties. Only specific women would give birth to royalty and to special people and special citizens. Accordingly, incestuous marriages among royal African families ensured. Eventually, we know and we accept that it would give birth to the trinity of Ausari, Horesu, and Isisu. These 2 doctrines, the Mponga priesthood and the sacred marriages, were copied by the Greeks too and molded their religion and culture and royalty today that we see all over Europe, and it culminates in the source of the Madonna and the child. The church fathers made decisions in which they incorporated Isisu, who was worshipped in Kemet, as the mother goddess. Individuals would purchase images of her, especially when she is nursing the child, to have in their homes as a sign of their religious affiliation. This image of Isisu with the infant Horesu was adopted by Christian iconography, picture making, where the mother Mary and the child Jesus are widely portrayed in a similar, though more humanized pose. The divinity of the motherhood of Mary would be proclaimed and affirmed at the Council of Ephesus in 431 AD. Various names were used to describe Mary as the mother of Jesus, or the mother of God, or Theotokos, or birth giver of God, at the Council of Ephesus. So the mother of God doctrine comes from us. It's all over the world. It came from ancient Kemet. As we have already demonstrated, the Theotokos, the doctrine of the mother of God, caused a lot of havoc in Christianity, which proves that the Bible is not inspired, which proves that the doctrine of the Church of Christianity, Islam and Judaism are not inspired. They are man-made. They were councils and men that set it down. It's different from animistic source that we base our African traditions on. So the 250 bishops that met in Ephesus represented Christendom at that time, confirmed the original Nicene Creed, and condemned the teachings of Nestorius, a patriarch of Constantinople, who held that the Virgin Mary may be called Christotokos, birth giver of Christ, but not Theotokos, birth giver of God. So when Nestorius was pushed out, iconoclasm began and started to make images like these and doctrines and the Jesus that you see today. So even the Pope and the elites, the Black Madonna images coming from Isisu, from Mponga tradition, were all over and are still all over Europe, hidden from the view of many. But the purpose is very clear about it. You can see here Pope Francis praying before the icon of Our Lady of Częstochowa in Poland, 2016. And another, the German Pope there, and the Italian and the Argentinian together, 2013, praying to the Black Madonna. They know the source of the power that is Isisu. Again, the Egyptian mother goddess Isisu was absorbed into Christianity. As Queen of Heaven, Mother of God, as we have already seen. As an object of devotion, the Virgin Mary offered something for everyone. She was a wife and a virgin, and a humble and exalted. You can find that in the New Testament. So when they were writing the New Testament, they were already copying from Isisu. The Virgin Mary was copied from Isisu. You can see here the Virgin Mary of Montserrat, of Santa Maria di Montserrat Monastery in Catalonia, the Byzantium inspiration, dates from the 8th century. It once bore the inscription Nigra. Some said Formosa, I am black and beautiful. from the biblical song of Psalms, which was again stolen from Isisu, because those are the titles of Isisu. The promises that Isisu gives to anyone who obeys her, whether they are white, black, yellow, or red, as long as they follow certain edicts, because these are principles, is that she says, I have come that I may be your magical protection. I give breath to your nose. I have caused that you exist as a God. When he says I give breath to your nose, it is the Holy Spirit. It is not your life, because you're already living, but it is the spirit of Isis that comes into you. I have provided you protection. Illumined is your face with your beauty, my Lord. Opened are your blind eyes forever. That's why the abuse here is a principle that is all over the earth. The real Madonna and the original child as ancestorhood and divinization. The Catholics canonize their saints, which is a similar tradition they borrowed full without anything from African revered ancestor processes through the funeral process. In African tradition, our lives are not morally perfect if we don't qualify to become ancestors and enter God's house or the divinity's area or the divine home, which is the ancestral world. The Catholic Church is the oldest and the largest continuously functioning international institution and the world's second largest religious body. They venerate their dead. They worship their ancestors whom they canonize. And they come and teach you to be an atheist, and come and teach you to ignore and not venerate or beautify or canonize your own ancestors. And they join them. Yet they took this theology from us. So they use it Bushido style against us. Born again Christians and restorationist groups like Iglesias, Ni, Manalo, Seventh-day Adventists, the Jehovah's Witness, many others deny that Mary is the mother of God, saying that the title mother of God is unbiblical, illogical, blasphemous to the real God in heaven, whom they don't even know. They think that God is a person, is a spirit. They don't know. They think God is love. They don't know. They don't know that God is a tribal deity. And they think that this veneration of Mary was done by the Catholic Church during year 431 AD at the Council of Ephesus. They are partially correct in some aspects, but in the totality of the doctrine, they are lost. They are still using the Bible that they were given by the Catholics. And the title about Mary was merely confirming what the early church fathers recorded in their way, in their books, in their beliefs. Irenaeus, born in 130 AD, died 202 AD, said the Virgin Mary, being obedient to his word, received from an angel the glad tidings that she would bear God against heresies. Hippolytus confirms the same thing. Gregory, the wonder worker, born 213 AD, died 270 AD, confirms the same thing. Peter of Alexandria, died 311 AD, confirms the same thing. Cyril of Jerusalem confirms the same thing. Jerome confirms the same thing. These are all church fathers, older than any denomination that you can pick today. As to how the virgin became the mother of God, that's what Jerome says. Rufinus has full knowledge. As to know he himself was born, he knows nothing. So all this, how is it possible then that by 431 AD, Christians already believed that Mary is the mother of God, or a mother who bears a God in her womb, God bearer? The question still remains. They learned this from the Mbonga spirituality via the mother goddess Isisu Horesu doctrine, because the Bible stole everything from Kemet. The Mbonga spirituality is the ancestorhood, spirit power, source of feminine power. That is the significance. This is the significance of the real Madonna and the original child. If you go beyond to 3000 BCE and going beyond Christianity, there is massive power in African spirituality once the African woman accepts to play her divine role. The ball is in your hands, melanin dominant woman, to lead or to be used by others. They have already been using you all over the world. The Black Madonna is all over the world. It is the power behind the oldest and the most enduring organization on earth, the Roman Catholic Church that gave birth to Christianity. So the African woman is a role to resurrect her own race, to become the divine bearer again. Join us at marifado.com and find your role and help us to grow. If you are interested, you can also share your opinion, subscribe to our channel, and share this video to as many people as possible. And suggest topics that you think we can also deal with. Your manager Topi, Priest Rabbi LM saying the original child and the real Madonna are our maternal ancestors. Amen.